Okay, sports fans, got my 701 dissertation coach hat on now. It is EDCI 701 week 5 infomercial. Yeah, some news and some work to do in week 5. So if you're over in your 701 Blackboard module for week 5, Kelly asked a good question concerning the clinical experience plan, and I gave you some an exemplar or an example to look at last weekend. But I'm not really certain that everybody. Hey, there's some due dates coming up for submission of the clinical experience plan in TaskStream. If you're not there yet, I think we're going to postpone and have a little bit of time for you to share samples and talk with one another or me about the clinical experience plan next weekend together. And if you can submit it to TaskStream prior to that, great. And so it says down here that the clinical experience plan is due this week. The clinical experience agreement as well. We gave you copies of those, or we talked through that, and I signed off on a bunch of them. If you know who your site supervisor can be in your district or at your site and can submit that, great. If you're not quite there yet, okay, and the clinical experience plan uh, after next weekend. So I'll shove the date back on that. About TaskStream, we haven't talked about that a whole lot. It is an electronic portfolio and TaskStream support. I wonder if you have your TaskStream IDs and logins. If you do, then please do check out the TaskStream support author instructions. And these are screenshots and instructions from TaskStream. It's a different program, but a directed response portfolio is what you're building, and this tells you in step by step how to submit your documents and attach them such that I can look at them and grade them and give you feedback electronically. Okay, so that's how to get them in there. And again, we were going to talk about a formative and summative review process. I can send them back to you without a grade, and that's my plan to do that first. So if you're ready to submit and want to submit your clinical experience plan, fine. But going back to the lesson plan that I mentioned in the other video, this first day is going to be, this is a draft, not quite there yet, but I'm working on it. Pillar presentations in the morning of Saturday, February 28th. And then afternoon session is going to be Natalie Bishop in a WebEx doing an orientation to our great Dover Library collection for research, online research. And then you'll have some time after that to do some research on your potential topics. So the potential topics are supposed to be due soon. Again, wait till after we have time to talk through that on February 28th. Then if you're confident and want to load them March 1st, great. I do plan to set aside some time for conferences somewhere here. We may have to flex lunch or dinner or something. Uh, well, if we can plan for you to be out during that first day lunch, then I think that was a good plan last time. But I'm also going to try to build in some time for some peer review of the clinical experience plan. So bring a draft that weekend, and I'll expect them sometime after March 1st. What else did I want to share? We are going to be looking at the PE, but that's and evidences on day 2. But I thought there was another point here. Let me ramble and get back to week 5. Okay, so introduction to APA formatting. Get your APA manual, please, if you don't already have it. Your list of potential topics can wait till after March 1st, after we have that orientation session. Your assignments due in TaskStream, not so much. If you can get the clinical experience agreement or the plan in there and want to do that now, fine, great. And you had responded with some feedback about the clinical experience agreement before, but TaskStream weekend 2. I read something interesting that I should have really emphasized a lot last weekend. Understanding dissertation. Now you know that it's a 5 chapter format for dissertations. Start to think, if you haven't already, about qual or quan. I hope you know from some master's work, perhaps, quantitative is numbers and qualitative is the words. Mine was more of a qual, though a mixed method approach is great too. So you're going to start reading some dissertations soon and collecting, summarizing them and outlining some dissertations. But think qual or quan or mixed methods, which are you more comfortable with as you start to read some dissertations. All for this week. I'm done, and see you soon.